why. Why would anyone want to save sex for marriage? Or why would anybody want to practice sexual purity? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. This is Relationship Sam, where we get to discuss all things love, dating, relationships, marriage. Basically, you feel it, we talk about it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know as soon as I publish new videos. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about why would anybody want to save sex for marriage? Celibacy is such an honorable commitment, but it's not an easy commitment to keep if your reason for why you want to do this is not solid enough. If your reason is not really coming from a deep place in your heart of conviction of why you want to do it as an individual. So if you are this person who knows that you want to maintain sexual purity, why would you want to do it? That's the most important thing. That's the most important aspect for you to actually be able to maintain sexual purity and to survive in your celibacy, because temptation is going to come for the simple reason that you're with somebody that you like, you're with somebody that you're attracted to, and there'll be times and opportunity for you to express love towards one another. So in this time when you're still dating and you're kind of interviewing each other to see how well you'd be suited for marriage, you want to find out, can we talk? Can we enjoy each other's company if we're not touching and kissing each other? Do we actually have stuff that we enjoy doing together? Do we have common interests? Develop a real and meaningful and intimate relationship. Intimacy where it's like oneness of mind, truly understanding and getting each other, a deep, heartfelt friendship with one another, which is a more secure foundation for a happier marriage. And I've been on that side where I've given myself to someone and I don't like the consequence. I don't like the attachment, the false attachment it gives you. And you know, once you start sleeping with someone or being sexually involved with someone, it's really hard to kind of go back and be friends. Even if you have a good friendship before you start having sex or being sexually involved, entangled with each other, sex still kind of robs you of the opportunity to exercise self-control, because the person that you are before you're married is the same person that you're gonna be inside of marriage. So when you don't exercise that self-control and self-restraint before you're married, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity of the training, because in marriage you're gonna need it. The quality of the eggs will determine the quality of the omelet. So you really wanna make sure that you are preparing yourself for what is to come, because marriage will stretch you, it will test you, and you're still gonna be tempted. Just because you're married doesn't mean that you're gonna stop noticing those handsome men with their six-pack, tall, dark, handsome, or you're gonna stop noticing those hot babes who take care of themselves, who are hitting the gym, and you coming home to a woman who's just delivered, who's moody, you're still gonna need to be able to give the best of yourself to somebody. I just have to pause and say this right now, that most of the problems that people have in marriage started before they got married. The same reasons they're fighting and they're having quarrels in marriage are the same reasons they're having quarrels and marriage even before. These things were always there. And that's what we talk about as telltale signs. Anyway, for myself, my first reason is that I've lived on the other side of disobedience. Kissing frogs hasn't gotten me very far. I've learned again through hard lessons that sex for men can just be as pressing as a need to go to the toilet to pee. And oftentimes we think that because sex means a big deal to us, that it means a big deal to him as well, that he's having sex with me because he loves me. Because for us as women, we give ourselves because we love the person. We usually give ourselves as women, we give sex hoping to get love, commitment, affection, all the things that we need, security, the security of knowing that this person is committed and that, you know, they're gonna be in a long-term relationship with us. And it's not a guarantee. You can give yourself sexually and still get nothing back in return. It's not a guarantee that this person's going to be committed to you, that they're going to even love you at all. I honestly just want to do things differently to get different results. I want to see and to experience life from God's standard, not really what society says, not what's common or the modern day age that we're in now, because God's instruction is to protect me and to preserve my integrity, and it's just to help me get the most out of this life. Just as reading an instructor's manual for a device, you're going to be able to maximize your knowledge and use of that device and get the most out of it for your own good. Obeying the word of God is for us, it's for our good. My prayer and hope really for myself and for us as Christians is that we would have a greater desire to please God than we do have to please ourselves. And once you do that, or once you know you're with somebody who actually desires to please God, the same way that Joseph fled from Potiphar's wife, you know that your husband or your partner is going to flee temptation, because temptation will come to all of us. Speaking about Joseph and Potiphar's wife, they were alone. So Joseph could have been like, I'm going to be I'm going to be the most celebrated slave. I'm going to have all that I want because she's going to make sure I have it. This is a sure way for me to reign, as he'd seen in his dream and his vision, but he didn't. He fled from that. He fled from that situation because he wanted to please God. Listen to this. Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food that he ate. Now Joseph was well-built and handsome. And after a while, his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Joseph's heart and his intention was like, I will not sin against God. So God has a good and acceptable and a perfect will that he has for us. And I feel like as Christians, we are more than not being changed by the way of the world. The world systems are changing us. Instead of us being resolute that the word of God is our instruction, is our instructor's manual. The word of God is for our good. It has to be a resolute. You have to make this decision for yourself, which is why we said you cannot do this for your pastor. You can't do it for your minister, your man of God. You can't do it for your parents. You can't even do it for your friends to say, oh, I'm among a group of friends who live for God. You have to want to do it for yourself. It's one of those things that you actually honestly have to think about, like, why am I doing this? First of all, there is no reward from God. It's kind of like you buy a laptop or an iPad, or I use a Canon camera. You buy this camera and you want to use the product, and there's a manual that comes with it. So me reading the manual and obeying what the manual says, that this camera is not waterproof. If I put it underwater and I try and take photographs or videos underwater with it and it stops functioning, I'm losing out. So I'm not going to get a reward from Canon for reading the instruction manual of how to use a camera, and I'm not going to get a reward from Canon for obeying the rules of using the device to be able to do what I needed to do. And the same goes for the word of God. You're protecting yourself by obeying the word of God, and there may or may not be a reward. Anyway, there's no condemnation here. Iron sharpens iron, and so one man sharpens another. Most of the experiences that I'm sharing, I've come from a place where I've made mistakes, and I'm now seeing the error of my ways, the mistakes of my ways, that if I could do things differently, if I could go back and turn the hands of time, I would definitely do things differently. So my hope and inspiration is that our desire to please God would be far greater than our desire to please ourselves. The same way that Joseph was so conscious of God's presence with him when Potiphar's wife was trying to have her way with him, he fled. He fled the way that God has said, flee fornication, like run away from fornication with your life. So we're just here to help each other, honestly. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know as soon as I publish new videos. So bye-bye for now, and I will see you on the next one.